So I want to tell a quick story as a opener and a closer for our very brief power up. Um, and it's not about prospecting. It's not about sports and how we you know, um, correlate the sports analogy a lot, to prospecting and being better and being the best we can be. Um, you know, I will digress and say that when I see like what's her name,
Shakari Richardson.
yeah, when I see people like that and then watch those videos, the music really does a lot for you when the background music's there. But I see stuff like that, and the "So You Want to Be Rich" video that I've been watching for years with the football player doing his training. That one doesn't make me emotional, but like the Shikari one, like that one makes me emotional. When I watch people like that, I get emotional. It affects me, right? To know that someone could put that kind of dedication into themselves for a future payoff, right? Now, obviously, it's led and directed by a father, a good father, right, or whatever. Um, but that's pretty powerful, right? No, it's not about that. It's about a current transaction that I'm attempting to do, and this particular transaction is a purchase, right? So maybe what I'll do is I'll share my screen. Um, I'm not looking to out anybody or hurt this agent, right? Let's do it this way. Here, I'll do it this way. Um, but the facts are the facts, right? And so, gotta get rid of these pictures. I'll show you a couple quick things. So here is our new listing, our newest listing.
Is that like right on the border of Cedar Grove and Little Falls?
No, it's closer to Route 46 and Great Notch.
I was gonna say, house looks super familiar.
I took the listing. I don't know if you were with me November 24th. Maybe you were with me. You just came aboard, I think. December.
Like here?
Yeah, with me on the
I don't
team.
think I've went here.
No, no. But you were with me on the team. When did you start with me?
Oh yeah, and November 24th. Yeah, I probably would
Yeah,
have
it's
been
when I
here.
took this listing originally.
Wow.
So it's got a mother in-law suite. It's good. It's a good house. I mean,
Yeah.
I would like to buy it, but I'm not going
Oh,
to.
you want to buy it yourself?
No, 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 no. Okay, how do I get out of here? All right, so that's our new listing. Ay, 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 mamana. Oh, really? What the hell is going on here? Right? But here's what I want to share. My clients are looking to buy this house.
Hmm.
It's in Mount Olive. It is listed for 880, and these are the buyers. These are my sellers of that house I was just showing you, right? And that's
Mm.
the only reason why I'm working with them, um, because they're my sellers. In order for me to get them get a listing, and help them sell, I need to help them buy. So very, very, very important transaction here. So when I looked at the analysis, a couple things I noticed, right? Like our house is all the way up here. It's in town. It's one of the few that are up on this hill with oil heat instead of
Mm.
gas heat. Everyone else has gas heat. The other thing I noticed is all of these homes. I mean, this is a bigger home, different home, so it's really not a good comp, right? Um,
You you muted yourself.
I know I wanted to yell at my daughter, not yell at her, but speak loudly towards her to
I
get
get it. I get it.
and eat her eggs. But when we go down, like this is, again, a little bit nicer home, all brick. It's on flat land. Not that we're not on flat land, but we're up on a hill, and the backyard's not really ideal, right? So I'm starting to go through these. Look at this, nice, long drive. We have a long driveway too. Um, this house is very similar in layout, right? We also have a powder room in a first floor. This bathroom's updated, you know. Um, we're not necessarily we're original. Pretty much everything's original, right? This has got a nice, it's got a two-tiered backyard, so it's not ideal, right? And this is listed for 849, and we're gonna go into the ones that are under contract, right? 899. You know, ours has metal railings. This is a little bit nicer. Um, Same taxes. 125 days to get a contract. Nice kitchen. We have a nice kitchen, but it's all original cabinets. It's old cabinetry from like 27 years ago. This has a newer bathroom. I don't like that they have a shower pan. These are the things I'm looking at, right? That's kind of lame. That's lame. They should have had a mud pan and then tiled on top of it to make it nice. Um, Nice deck, a little bit, same backyard, right? Nice house. Um, but looks like good. All right, another one under contract. This really doesn't work. So what I'm doing is I'm looking to understand how they come up with 880. And in coming up with 880, I am um, doing a CMA for my buyers as I would if they were sellers of the same house. And I'm not directing traffic or directing attention to a specific price point. I'm taking all 4 bed, 3.5 baths. Some of them are 2.5 baths because you need to keep your range open. So I'm getting the $1 million under contracts, right? So I'm not being selective or um, manipulative in any way, shape, or form. I'm simply taking a cross section. Bear with me 1 second.
You're on mute, boss.
So as I go through these, I'm comparing house to house. I'm now analyzing the property, and this is a $1.1 million house, right? And then I get into other houses. 629 sold for 615. It's a 4 bed, 2.5 baths, so it's got one less bath. Um, it's got gas, which is more desirable. Interesting floor plan, outdated kitchen. Okay, all right. So again, if we put 150 into this house to give it a couple bathrooms and a new kitchen, what's 150 on top of this? 775, 765, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Smaller lot, houses are close together. Okay. Here's another one, 620, 31 days. 4 bed, 3.5 bath, same as us. House is a little dated here. Add 12,000 for that. Kitchen's perfectly fine. Add another 15,000 here. That's 27,000. Add another 15,000 here. It's let's call it 40,000 for 3 new bathrooms. It's got an in-law suite in the basement. So add 80 grand. That's 700, right? So what I'm doing is I'm not using the algorithm. I'm just doing it myself. I don't think they have their own tennis court, but I guess they're showing something here, right? Here's another one sold for 675. 4 bed, 2.5 bath. And that's what we do, right? We analyze these properties, a little bit more boring. Add another 150 to this house, and you're at 7, 8, 8.25, right? Okay. Finished basement. Okay, 712. Again, this is like a typical, it's smaller driveway, so it's a little bit different in the community. Nice kitchen. Um, Bathrooms are plain. You could add 50, 60,000 for a couple bathroom, 3 bathrooms, right? Um, but it's a nice house, right? Okay, in a community. Um, so that's like 770. Uh, I'm sorry. Yeah, 765, 770. Um, Again, so I'm going through these listings, a lot of them, right? 20. I took 20. And at the end of the day, the data shows me that I got a lot of sold properties here. The data shows me that it should be priced between 781 and 859. It's priced at 880. So we came in at 815 and we'll go to 830, 840. 40,000 less than ask. Here's the story. The agent has been in the business 6 years. She first texted me in 2021 when she tried to show one of my listings. She sold about 8 homes in the 6 years. And she's never done she did 1 listing, I think. Let's take a quick look. And give me a second.
You're still on mute.
I'm not doing this to beat her up in any way, shape, or form. I'm doing this so that I can understand who I'm dealing with and how to help her clients, and ultimately help everyone get a deal done here, right? So I don't know. I'm going to pick a bunch of counties. I'm allowed to pick 6.
What are you picking them for? Like,
Where
to
she
see?
possibly did deals.
Oh, okay, okay.
So we're going to do status, old solds. And we're going to go back to 01, 01, 2020. I don't know when she got licensed, but whatever. Are these listings for her? Let me see. Nope. Nope. No, these are all buyer deals. I thought she did more buyer deals. So she's done 5 buyer deals. Just making sure none of these are listings. None of these are listings. Right?
Mhm.
She's done 5 buyer deals in 6 years. Let me just see something. Oh, wait a minute.
Those were listings.
No,
were
they
they?
weren't her listings.
Really? I thought it said selling agent was
She's the
Laura.
selling agent. She's not the listing agent.
Ah, yeah,
Just,
that is true.
oh, I did put her on the selling agent side. Yeah. So she's the selling agent. Now, let me put her on the listing side. Oh. Oh, am I wrong? Did she do a bunch of listings? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Okay, why didn't these come up before? All right, it doesn't matter. So she's done 10 listings, 1 expired. So she sold 7 listings in 6 years. Give me a second, guys. So, so she sold 7 listings in 6 years. That changes a little bit because I only saw one before. This is a nice house. 865, 850, so not bad. 98% of list price. So the thing is, her experience isn't that great. And again, not to beat her up or anything, but if we take the same 6 years, right? If we take the same 6 years for this listing agent, it's 157. Well, no, these were withdrawn. So 137 minus 2. 135 listings
Wow.
in the same 6 years. And of those listings, the vast majority, you know,
100 of them are above list price.
96% of them are above asking. And if we look at days on market, pick 30 days, right? 103 are 30 days or less. So again, I don't say that to brag or impress anyone. I say it to impress upon her, as I was like, I have a lot of experience doing this. And when she told me she was going to, how she priced it out, I said, look, I called her. I said, look, I need your help. What's up? Help me help you get the highest price by telling me how you price it so I can then bring that information to my clients and get them to pay top dollar. And she said she used the tax records. Then she mentioned a house that just came on the market. I said, you never use a house that just came. Who cares what it came on the market for? I mean, that's common knowledge in the business. And so I tried to educate her in a very respectful way. Apparently, I didn't do a good job. She got offended. I should have used ChatGPT and how to approach her and break it into a script. And the reason I'm sharing this is, what I was trying to get across to her is, she's like, I sent her the whole thing. She then texts me, I'll send it over. This morning she goes, I'll send it from my seller. Oh no, good morning, I'll send it over. 20 minutes later, she goes, number too low. That was it. So I'm like, oh, hey, was that from your point of view, or
What does that mean?
what does it mean? I go, for clarity, I'd like to jump on a quick call. So she said, from my seller. She said that she would counter at full ask, and it's only just been put on the market. Very dangerous words. And it only comes from an ignorant, naive seller who just went on the market, right? And the quicker it sells, the more it sells for. In fact, if we go to my list of sold properties, right? And we look at,
You're not sharing your screen right now.
I know, and we look at the sold properties, there'll be a direct correlation to the quickness of which it sold to the fact that they all sold over the, one here sold 97% of ads. That was what, Frank? 21 Frank? I don't remember what this was. What was this? Oh, okay. That was
Oh, is this the guy you referenced when you were talking to this one guy? It was around the time you got 100 grand. There was another guy you were talking to.
no, this is a couple years old.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, what I'm saying is, like, I'm trying to communicate with her to say, look, your client is misguided. And it's hard to say that because she's the one guiding her. And the price range is the price range. And so I guess why I'm sharing this is that it's important. A couple of reasons why I'm sharing this story is that, one, when we're communicating to our clients, be it a buyer or a seller, in this case, it happens to be a seller, the agent is completely off base on how she priced the house using the tax records. I then go to show her, and all I did when putting my experience on the table was to frame where I'm coming from. She's been in the business 6 years. She sold less than 12 homes. She's done 7 listings in 6 years. Okay. I did how many in 6 years?
100, there was more than like 130 something.
135. Not to be a jerk or to beat my chest, to respectfully say, hey,
There's levels to stuff, you know.
like if I'm looking to start to paint and I'm painting a certain way, there's a little bit of talent involved, but I go to the art teacher. If the art teacher came by and saw my painting, I was trying, I can't do noses in my paint, in my drawings, right? I can draw really well. Like I could look here and draw the likeness of Jasmine, and you'd be like, holy shit, that's Jasmine. Like you would know. I might mess the nose up because I'm not good at noses, right? Better at profile noses than I am at, I can't do the shading, right? But my mother, who's an art teacher, or was an art teacher when she had her mind about her, could come by and say, hey, blah, 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 blah. Now, I wasn't going to get mad at my mother. It was my approach. The point is, she's charged with the responsibility of the agent of guiding her client. She guided her client the wrong way and priced the house at 880 when it really should be priced at, she said, how would you price the home? I said, well, that's very clear. The CMA that I pulled, right? The CMA tells me that this is the price range. So, Jasmine, where do you think I would have priced the home if this was the CMA?
Probably around 781.
768, 778. Couple points below the low end. And maybe I should have, I shared this with the agent and the seller. They didn't look at it. They don't want to look at facts. The seller responded within 5 minutes, didn't review this, took me twice as long to write it, the email, right? I sent over an email, and the email I sent at 10 o'clock last night was this email. I mean, granted, chat helped me out with this, but I had to put all the information into chat, and then chat formatted it for me. Long email, came with the seller, the CMA, it came with our offer, right? And it was very well constructed, well thought out, and based in good things, right? And and the facts are like, look, I just want to get a deal. And so, again, I approached it the wrong way. She got a little offended and she started getting defensive. I said, I respectfully, that doesn't work. When you say, oh, respectfully, just because you say respectfully doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be, they're going to feel respected. I should have used chat to script me out, because it would have came from a much more polished approach than I did. I sounded like I was preaching, but it's important. A couple things that my takeaways of why I'm sharing this with you. Hopefully she doesn't. We're probably just going to come to our high number and give it to them. If they take it, great. If they don't, then we're screwed. And I got to take this beautiful home off the market that we just listed, right? But as an agent, you're there to guide and counsel your client to success. And if you're not centered in reality or in factual based information, if you're not centered in the empirical data, you're not using that as your, and after you use empirical data, just check my daughter, see if she's eating.
Well,
You catching Jasmine up with the conversation?
yeah.
Anyway, it's important that we get the information we're sharing our client with at the right location and the right source, right? She priced it based on tax records. That's like picking your spouse. I don't know. Give me a bizarre way to pick your spouse, right? Like who shoots pool really well, or who can swim, or who can drive a car fast, like the fastest, without getting killed.
Yeah.
Who's the
How
guy?
do you
The
how do you
person-
go about doing a CMA with the tax records? Like, what do you mean by that?
Because you're looking at the homes that are price, like I don't know. I don't know. I don't even want to like that's like a seller. Okay,
But
when I
taxes also fluctuate too. And taxes, I
well,
mean,
here's the thing. There's never been a seller that I priced that was, dare I say, argumentative to my approach when I like this house. All right, let's take a quick look, real quick. Okay, so 63 Hemlock. You guys are gonna love this house. This is the next open house. Hopefully, you're available. Right, 63 Lock Road, Little Falls. I'll share. Here we go. So this house priced at 648. I'm sending him market reports for the last year, and it's at 760. So my own market reports to this guy, $766. He's getting these for a year. He's looking at these market reports all the time. And yet, oh, don't want that. Why do I always do that? Oh God, here we go. And yet, you guys keep seeing my pet project. No pun intended. And yet Zillow says it's worth 766, and I priced it at 648. No seller has ever came to me. If he disagreed with me, he'd say, "Yeah, but my tax assessment says this." Oh, really, Mr. Seller? Interesting. What do you mean? Well, Mr. Seller, I've never met a seller who didn't want to appeal their taxes. I've never met a seller who said, "What the hell are they assessing our house so high? Our taxes are 20,000 a year." That's nonsense. We should appeal our taxes and lower the value. So you can't use your tax assessed value to price your home on one hand. It's like you can't run a restaurant, put all the cash in your pocket, claim you're only making $40 a year, and then when you go to sell a restaurant, say, "Hey, we make $700,000 a year." Trust me, BS. You can't have it both ways. You can't avoid paying your taxes by erroneously reporting your revenue and then expect to report your revenue to a buyer, right? And expect to get the numbers. So the same thing happens with the real estate. And she, so anyway, she did that. I try to show her that facts are facts. And at the end of the day, like my conversation with her was real simple that, and like, "Oh, my seller feels this. It just came on the market." Those are the words of kiss of death words. Just came on the market. What do you mean? You want to wait a month or two? Like no home has ever sat on the month and people then find it 6 weeks later, 10 weeks later, said, "Oh, it's 880. It's been on the market for 10 weeks." In a market that things sell in the first 30 days, say, "Well, let's give her ask price." No, they're always going to give you lower. Nobody else bought it. Let's see if we can buy it, But this agent, unfortunately, I'll take ownership that I didn't approach it properly, and I probably turned her off a little bit, and I try to rebound. I told her my story on my house, how I was a seller. I overpriced my house, even with 17 years experience. I told her how I spoke to my mother when my mother wanted to sell her condo for 3.25, when everything else was selling for 285. And I go, "How'd you come up with your number, Mom?" I mean, I was telling the story to then show her how I communicate with my sellers and tell third-party stories, and how the seller can then put themselves in the shoes of my mother, right? And I'll tell the story. Did I ever tell the story about my mom? I have, Yemeni? I'll tell it. It's only 30 seconds. Mom wants to sell her house in Montclair, her condo, for 3.25. Okay, cool. I'm gonna make 2%. You're gonna charge your mother? Yeah, sorry, I digress. So yeah, she's gonna sell the house. Great. Let me do the 3.25. Okay, cool. Do my CMA. Comes up at 285. Ma, I'm curious. How'd you come up with that number? Well, I'm going to retire soon, and I don't have a big nest egg, and I need every penny I can get. Stop. I use choice words because that's how we talk in our family. So nobody gives a hoot. I don't use the word hoot, by the way, about of what your situation is. No one cares that you're retiring. No one cares that you need the money. I care, but nobody cares. there's two things you're going to do. You're either going to price your home right at 288, or you're going to sit tight and you're going to wait. She waited. She sat 7, 8 years. She hated her building because it was all politically, she was the president of the board and blah, blah. They were all arguing about money and she thinks everyone's stealing money from her. So she waited and was miserable for 7 years until she fell full on dementia, put her in a nursing home, and I sold her for 3.25. That's the end of the story. I never really tell that part of it. I should really tell the full story. So the point is, like, can I talk to you the way I would my own mother? Well, yeah, of course. Well, I love saying that to people. If I'm sitting with you guys, you and your husband, Jasmine, I'd say, can I talk to you the way, I mean, you're a lot younger than my mother, you're younger than me, but can I talk to you the way of my own mother or an old family member? I'll spare you the expletives. Expletives, is that the right word?
Mhm.
I'll spare you the language, but, and I tell the story. And let me just top it off with my own experience. After 17 years in the business, we bought a house. 8 months later, COVID hits. I spent 6 months renovating the house, moved in, beautiful house next to the park. My wife still wants to kill me for selling it. True story. It was never worth more than 5.25. But like I see what's going on. It's maybe a year into COVID, 9 months into COVID. So I had it for about a year and a month. We put it on the market. I think I can get like 6.25. I'm a seller now. I'm telling the story as I sit across. I'm telling her the story, by the way, too. I said, as an experienced agent, I knew how to price my home, but that hat went in the garbage, and I put on my seller hat. And I wanted what I wanted, and I had logic behind it, but it wasn't centered in reality. It was centered on what I wanted. And so I priced it, knowing how I price homes. I priced it at 568, hoping to get like a bidding war to get 6.25 or more. 660. I got 7 showings in a week. I pulled it off the market. I knew right away I made a mistake. This is the day when they were lining up around the block for properties in the snow, in the rain. Pulled it off the market, waited a month or two, and then Ronnie Iosa, because I didn't want to have anything to do with it, because I was too close to it. I let him list it for $499. It's where it should have been from day one. It was worth 5.25. We get a bidding war. It sells for 543 or 541. I don't remember. I had to kill that deal because the guy got impatient. He said, "Look, I'll let you stay as long as you need to find your house." Couldn't find another house. He starts getting antsy. We killed it. Get away. I got kids. I got a newborn baby. I'm not playing this game. Get away. 4 or 5 months later, I put it back on 10,000 less. Now remember, I got 543. Instead of listing it at 525 or 500, I listed at 488. Got 563. And so it's a good little story that shows that how to properly price a home. And we are responsible for educating our clients and doing it the right way. It's also good to hear that because when you are working with sellers specifically, not necessarily buyers. Now again, how am I dealing with my buyers? They're going to call me in 2 minutes. I'm going to let you hear the call. It's going to be beneficial, right? They want the house. They love the house. It fits what they want. It's 880. Look, I could be one of those agents, right? Like I don't want to share. I don't want to confuse them and blah 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 blah. And just say, yeah, no, buy it, right? 880. I kind of want to. There's a portion of my brain that's just because I have a listing on the other side here, and if this deal dies, then I got to pull the listing again. I did this 14 months ago with them. We listed their property and we had to pull it after 2 days, and the phones lit up like we were giving away gold. And so, but the truth is, the house isn't worth it. It's the right thing to do. I guided them. I'm very, very deep in my explanation. They love me. They love my guidance, and they're going to pay $840 for it. They're willing to pay $840. So I'll probably guide them to say, hey, look, you know what? They're not the other side. And there's a lot of little lessons here. I wish you had the whole scope, but this agent is ill prepared and is ill educated and is not guiding their client effectively and could really hurt their client. Someone might come along and give them 840, 830, 850 in a month or two. Probably not. I mean, maybe. we don't want to wait and take that chance. So I'm going to tell my people, let's just go up to our final number and say, hey, this is what we're willing to give you. It's 40,000 less. She told me another thing. Like the agent, this is what you don't want to do when you have a listing, right? This is what you don't want to do. Remember, she and I texted in 2021 when she was trying to show one of my listings. How you doing on that breakfast, baby? You finished? Show me the plate. Show me the garbage can. Show me the dog. If he's licking his chops, you're in big trouble, kid. I shouldn't even. She probably doesn't even know she could feed the dog.
I know, don't, I'm like,
What do you got? You're done? Wait, let me just ask the mama on the call.
let me see this.
Is she done?
Mm,
No,
maybe,
don't play that game. Is
maybe,
she done?
no, but maybe she can take 2 more big bites and be done.
Okay, here. Here's one big bite. Open up wide.
But I think you did a great
Don't
job.
choke. Come on, bite. She's gonna just
The Vulcan
left half.
season.
Oh, the other half fell. Take it. I'm on a call. I'm recording. This is a
Got a
training.
match next week. I mean,
Look at her. She's being liberal, this woman on the phone here. Gonna go girl power BS crap. Nonsense. Facts are facts, not feelings. Anyway. So what was I saying?
so the lesson is that they're not being guided correctly by,
You're not being guided correctly, and
yes.
yeah, gotta guide your people correctly. And there was something else I was on a thing, buttoning it down, buttoning the story down. Let me take this up. Oh, here's what you don't want to do. I asked her on Thursday, like you do when you're showing a property, right? Hey, you're gonna show your property. Anything I need to know is what's the compensation? She responds 2%. Motivated sellers. Okay. That tells me something. For the agent to say that says they're motivated, obviously, but what's the reason behind their motivation? Turns out there's an illness and they're moving back to their country.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry to hear
sad.
that.
Sellers, here's the next text. Sellers starts out with sellers motivated and should be back, have the seller's disclosures back Monday. Bonus room, there's heat in the bonus room. They turn it off because they're away. Then she texts me an hour after showing. How'd the showing go? She's a little eager, showing a little signs of eager. Definitely not a ton of shit going on with this deal. I gave the feedback. Oh, here's my feedback. They seem to like it. Positive, right? Starting out positive. Didn't love the first. There's a really sharp bend to get up to the neighborhood. It's like a boom, boom, and it's a steep and a hard jackknife turns to get up to this hilly area. So in the snow, anyone, even a good driver like me, would be like, "Oh, it's a little crazy, right?" Didn't love the sharp hill. Headed up to the neighborhood. He was a bit, dare I say, annoyed with the access to the powder room being through his office on the first floor, which is weird. Overall, it has most of what they want and need. They are going to speak and call me shortly. Her response was, okay, bummer. Fingers crossed. So now I know that if they're not desperate, she's absolutely desperate. She has no clue what the hell she's doing. And I immediately want to just start coaching her. And I even told her, I probably shouldn't have said that. When we were on this last call, and I'm like, not for nothing, like, I just, the way you're responding to me, like, I feel for you. I want to pull you aside and coach you and say, don't do that. Why are you doing that? Oh, she got upset with me. You don't need to coach me. I got my own office, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, clearly you're not fucking doing the job, right? Sorry. We talked on the phone, but when we were talking, it was all about she starts telling me, if you came in the mid-eights, I think I might be able to help get it done, but don't, I know you're going to give me a low offer. She's also, I'm like, God, what made you think I'm going to give you a low offer? Like, and what's low? I mean, it's all relative to, like, So she was projecting fear and unprofessional anxiety and just not good. Just listen. Just okay, cool. So you never want to do any of that stuff when you're representing your seller. All right, let's end this story. Let's get her on the phone so you can hear the final part of the story and how it's going to turn out. I'm going to call them because we want to move on, and I want to. Mute yourselves. Am I recording? Yeah.
You have reached the voice.
All right, he'll call me back. All right, let me pause this. William, handle that, and let's
Yeah.
get the facts on how that works so that we can come around, get around that.
Yeah.
Hey, Nia,
Hey, Eric.
how are you?
Good. How you doing, man?
Good, good.
Rika's here with me.
Rika's with you. Good. So I had a conversation with with my counterpart, the listing agent here. As previously mentioned, she, she's got her way. I don't necessarily agree with how she priced things out. We did a CMA. I trust you looked at it. We all talked about it. We kind of agreed that, we come in at eight on the low eights and land somewhere in the mid eights, 30, 40, whatever. That's probably where we'd be happy, not going past that. In fact, I'll send you the email I sent her so you could see what I sent her. Very detailed. Bear with me. You don't have to look at this now, but whatever, you'll have it. So I sent her this very detailed email. I thought it was a good email. And she sends it off this morning to her client, and 20 minutes later says it's too low. So I said, is that your opinion or is that their response? Their response. She would only counter at full price, stating it's only been on the market a week, which is the kiss of death from, you hear that from a seller. I want to hang it's like horrible to hear that because, what are you waiting for? You're waiting for it to get stale. The home. So I started kind of going into it with her. Long story short, to spare you the whole back and forth, it really didn't go well with the agent. And the seller is not being guided by the best guidance, period, to summarize, right? And in all my attempts to try to sway her to maybe see things from a different point of view and have her go back to her seller. Now the seller said, she got a sick child. I don't know if that's the medical issue with the child. That would definitely make things even more, compounded than if it were an adult. And so she had said to me, I don't know if I shared this with you. I think I did. She had shared with me that, I think you're going to come with a low offer. If you can come in at the mid eights, I think we can maybe get something done. And I'm like, and I'm like, you shouldn't have that conversation with me. Don't tell me I can come in the mid eights, right? It just shows your weakness, But that being said, there's two things we can do. The one thing we can do is like, they're leaving it into our hands saying, you know what, the home's been only on for a week. And it seems that response is like, so we'll wait a little while. And at one point she said, well, sure, maybe I'll have to quote unquote, I'll have to have a conversation with them that it might be a little overpriced, which tells me, oh, what are you going to wait like 2 or 3 weeks for that conversation to happen? Or are you going to let us walk? I mean, that would be, get us talk, keep the clients talking, and let's see where it ends. Don't end it on I'm not responding. So, but they are. And there's nothing I could really do outside of offending her again because I offended her by my attempt. And I take responsibility for that. But nonetheless, she was like, offended, and it just wasn't going well. And she wasn't taking any of my advice. And, to try to to establish some sort of footing with her seller to come back to reality. So we could just wait. And if they don't get an offer in a week or more, we reappear. I don't think none of us want to do that because now we got our house on the market, and the deeper you get into that, not that it can't be undone and not that it can't be protected, and I can assure you of that, which I think is always the right thing to do, right? Get an offer on your property for 750, 770, whatever. Get it locked down, and then the language, then your attorney puts in there that you're a contingent seller, meaning you have to lock in. Again, we don't want to really do that. I wouldn't be completely uncomfortable, but I know it's not my house, it's you, and you guys got to sleep well. So the other thing we could do is just give them the top number, say, look, this is where it is. Hopefully it's close enough. I believe it would be, right? If your number was what we spoke about, and this is before inspections, so don't worry about it, right? So if we come in at that 840 number as your top number and say, hey, look, all right, you don't want to have a conversation, then here, this is it. Best and final, 840. It's good for 24 hours. And then I'll reestablish or re-outline the value of our offer and why we're a good buyer, and tell them not to miss it and suggest they not miss this opportunity. And then it's 95% of ask price, which is in line. It's definitely in alignment with everything else that's selling there. Probably on the low range, right? They're selling between 98 and 100%, 97 and 100%. So we could do that, come back to them, in an hour or two or whatever, and say, listen, we talked about it. We really want the house. We really hope you take this offer because it's not going to last. They don't know this, that we don't want it, but there is another mother-daughter in town. I don't even want to go to them, but we didn't even discuss with them mother-daughter. So I wouldn't go there. But I would say, look, there's another home that came up. And it's definitely something they would go after. And I would rather not take them out again. I know you don't want to do an open house. I encourage you to, get your people to take this offer and let's move forward. So we could do one of two things, right? We could wait and see if they get weak and have a change of heart while we move forward on our process and lock in our buyer, which is not a bad thing for us. And you could do that, right? You could wait a couple days, not a whole week. The risk with that, obviously, is somebody does come along, starts out at 840, and we'll go to 860, and it's done, right? I'm sorry, 860. The longer it sits out there, the longer we run the risk of having somebody, muddy our water, so to speak, and get involved in it. So, what do you guys feel about what I'm saying?
I think both options are reasonable. I think I like the going in with the 840 more. Just because we are in the process of putting all this together.
Yep.
Already, and you know what? If she comes back and she's like, they're not going to take anything lower than 880, then we might have to just pull everything.
Yep. Makes sense.
And not go through this process.
Makes sense. What do you think, Rika?
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. You want to think about it for an hour, or you want to send me back and give them the best? I won't do it right away anyway. I would wait. I'm going to be making calls for the next hour and a half. Who knows? around noon time. Who knows? Maybe they have a change of heart and say, okay, we'll counter it. Any counter would be great, right? Keep the conversation alive, and it always then. Where are we? Hold on a second. They're at 8:15. I'm sorry, we're at 8:15. 880 minus 815 divide by 2 plus 815, 847. So 847 is the midpoint. If they could come down to 10,000, then, of course, 842 is the midpoint, right? So 840 is right there. It's right there. So again, you could say, yeah, guys, Eric, we're confident. We let's go with that strategy and let's try to wrap this thing up. At which point I'll do that in like 90 minutes. Let me know. I'll do it.
Okay, yeah, we'll send you a quick text on which one we'll go with, but I think I'm leaning towards the just submitting our best and final. So we don't want to go through all this shit again. And,
I get it.
yeah,
I get it. Okay.
but yeah, we'll send you a quick text, Eric.
All right. I'm here.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, bro. All right. Bye-bye. So the reason why I went back and gave him, you want to think about it, is just another form of comfort to them working with me. Like, I know they're going to pick that number. I know they're going to do that. They said it before. He alluded to it. She agrees with him. I'm not going to do anything anyway for the next 90 minutes. I want to get on the calls. I'm not going to talk to this agent. So it allows me to, just demonstrate to them that I'm there for them and that I'm not looking for them to make a rash decision, which means they'll be more confident when they text me that it was the right decision because Eric didn't tell us, hey, we got to do this real quick. Let us think about it, and we thought about it. And after thinking about it, we want to do that. So it'll just solidify everything even stronger. So that's why I did it. All right, let me undo this recording so we can pull this out. It was a long one.